Sonoma County is one of the best places to live in the Bay Area. I mean, why am I so sure of it? Well, I used to live in one of the most popular places in the Bay Area, Mill Valley, which I love, but then I bought a house here 8 years ago and I just can't see myself living anywhere else. Incredible beaches, a great climate, amazing people, and the most scenic vineyards with world-class wines are just some of the things that Sonoma County has to offer. And today I'll share with you 15 reasons why I love living here. Starting first with the community. Don't get me wrong, there's a great community in Mill Valley and the Bay Area, but it's just different. There, it was all about your job, what were you doing, how much money you were making, how many out-of-school activities your kids were doing, and so on. Everyone was just so busy in their own little bubble advancing their careers. I feel the slower pace of life in Sonoma County, it just mellows people out. I mean, I feel like people here are just a lot more comfortable in their own skin. It's not like everyone is treating life as a big competition. I also think it helps that there's a much broader mix of people here compared to the tech monoculture of the Bay Area, which has to be a good thing. Next up, small town charm. I mean, I don't think Healdsburg is actually much smaller than Mill Valley, but it's just got a very different feel. Healdsburg definitely feels like it's a small town where people get involved in making the city as good as it can be. I mean, I can't possibly list all the community events that take place. I can't possibly list all the community events that take place, but if there is a public holiday or an opportunity for a parade or music in the plaza, Healdsburg will definitely make it happen. As a result, it's a really easy place to meet people if you're considering moving to Healdsburg or Sonoma or Sebastopol. All of these cities have a similar small town feel and a sense of real community about them. But do you know something that's even better? If you subscribe to my channel to receive new videos like this one and updates about living in Sonoma County. I promise you, if you subscribe, I'll continue to bring more and more videos on everything you need to know about this area, from the lifestyle to the real estate market, things to do, and much more. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So number 13 on the list is cultural diversity. I mean, Healdsburg's past was rooted in farming prunes before vineyards began to take over. As a result, much of its history is based on agriculture, and this is definitely something that's shaped the town and made it what it is today. I mean, there's a really healthy mix of the people that have grown up here, the people who've moved to the area because of the quality of life, and then the people who just make the whole place tick, whether that's the winemakers, the growers, or all the amazing people who work in the hospitality industry. I mean, it's hard to describe, but even going to Big John's Market, many of the staff will know your name and chat, or when you go to a winery, the people there will know who you are and vice versa. It just feels like there's a real close connection between everyone who lives here and everyone who works here, compared to somewhere like, for example, Napa County. Next up, the weather. As a Brit, it's hard not to talk about the weather. In Mill Valley, while we had a nice backyard and entertaining area, I think we probably used it no more than 10 times a year, because generally it was just too cold to sit out or eat out in the evenings. Whereas here, I would say we generally eat outside from May to early October, which is just really nice. It creates an entirely different lifestyle. And that's why so many people who are looking for a home here, that enables them to seamlessly move between the indoors and outdoor spaces. I mean, that being said, it's not all about the warm evenings. In winter, it's actually colder here than in Marin, but even that's nice because it means that we do get proper seasons. Unlike Marin, we really do get a proper fall with all the leaves on the vines changing colours. My favourite time of year has to be, mid-April into May as summer begins, or maybe in September, October as the harvest is underway, when you can really smell the grapes being harvested first thing in the morning. I mean, it's a pretty special time of year, and it's a little bit less busy with tourists. So next on the list, family friendly. While cities in Sonoma County attract their fair share of tourists, Sonoma County has a number of just great schools, both public and private, regardless of age. Aside from schools, it's also really well set up with things for kids to do, whether that's tubing down the Russian River, going to a skate park, or heading out to the coast. What's more, there are numerous wineries that are especially child-friendly, giving the adults a break and enabling them to enjoy an afternoon of wine tasting. For example, in Healdsburg, several wineries cater specifically to families with children, offering a relaxed environment where adults can enjoy wine while the kids engage in fun activities. Francis Ford Coppola Winery is not only renowned for its wines, but it's also its family-friendly atmosphere. The winery features a swimming pool and a movie gallery, making it a real hit with both adults and children. And then you've got Preston Farm and Winery, which is another family favourite. This organic winery offers more than just wine. It's got a farm with gardens and animals and picnic areas where families can relax and enjoy the outdoors. Sebastopol, on the other hand, is known for the whimsical Florence Avenue. If you've not been there, you definitely have to check it out, where families can stroll and view quirky sculptures by local artists. I mean, it really is quite a sight to behold. Nearby the Sonoma Plaza is the Traintown Railroad, which is definitely a hit among younger children, featuring a 20-minute train ride and scaled down town replicas. It's definitely worth checking out if you do have younger kids. So number 10 on the list, let's talk about the cost of living. I mean, San Francisco is known for its high cost of living, consistently ranking as one of the most expensive cities in the United States. The median home price in San Francisco is high, often exceeding 1.3 million, which starkly contrasts with Sonoma County, where median home prices hover around 700 to 800,000, depending on the area. When it comes to median salaries, San Francisco's figures are definitely inflated because of the high concentration of high-paying tech jobs, as well as finance jobs, with median incomes typically around 115,000 a year. In contrast, Sonoma County has got a lower median income, which is probably nearer $75,000 a year, reflecting the region's more diverse economic base that includes agriculture, wine production, tourism, as well as some tech and some healthcare. For anyone who's moving to Sonoma County from San Francisco, property still seems relatively cheap because of the disparity between median prices and median salaries. One of the big differences that a number of clients of mine with small children have commented on is the difference in cost between childcare or nanny services, which can be 30% cheaper than the equivalent in San Francisco. So now let's talk a little bit about school districts. I mean, it's hard to generalize about Sonoma County schools versus San Francisco schools. However, if we take the schools in Healdsburg, for example, if you're exploring educational options, you'll find a really great mix of both private and public schools, each offering unique programs that cater to the diverse needs and interests of a range of children's age groups. I mean, this is true in most cities across Sonoma County, so it's nothing unique to Healdsburg. Starting with private schools, Healdsburg has got St. John the Baptist Catholic School, which offers a faith-based education from transitional kindergarten through to 8th grade. This school is nestled right in the heart of town, and the tuition costs vary from $8,000 to $10,000 annually, depending on the grade and family circumstances. Another option is the Healdsburg School, which is a private school that also goes through to 8th grade, with tuition averaging $20,000 a year per student. On the public side of things, the landscapes, there's just as many options. You've got the Westside Union Elementary School, which runs a K-6 program. And then for those living in the more rural parts of North Healdsburg, the Alexander Valley Union School District provides an intimate learning environment with only 115 students. And then Healdsburg's main public education system, the Healdsburg Unified School District, spreads across 4 different campuses. It starts with Healdsburg Elementary, then as they grow, they move to the Fitch Mountain campus for grades 3 to 5, and then onto the junior high for grades 6 to 8, and then finally onto Healdsburg High School, which accommodates students from 9th grade to 12th grade. Most of Sonoma County towns and cities provide a well-rounded educational environment with choices that cater to different educational philosophies and learning styles, ensuring that everyone can definitely find a path that's appropriate for their needs and their children's needs. So now let's talk a little bit about location. A lot of people who are looking to move to Sonoma County worry about what a big change of life it will be from living in San Francisco. But really, it isn't that far away. Even the northern part of the county, if you're looking to move to Sea Ranch or up near Mendocino border, then that's a different thing altogether. I mean, that's far away from anything. However, if you move to Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Sebastopol, or Healdsburg, you're only an hour or less away from the Golden Gate Bridge. In fact, I've got a client who moved to Healdsburg from Pacific Heights, and he continues to go to San Francisco 3 times a week to swim in the Bay. I mean, it just goes to show that if you really want to continue a part of your life that is based in San Francisco, it shouldn't stop you moving here. I have other clients who moved from San Francisco and the South Bay during COVID, and even though their workplace now demands that they go back into the Bay Area office a few times a week, they've continued to make it work, commuting to San Francisco when they need to. I mean, the great thing about places like Santa Rosa, Windsor and Healdsburg is the fact that you're right on the 101, so it can be heading south in minutes after leaving your home. I mean, let's not also forget the SMART train, which currently runs as far as Sonoma County Airport, but will extend through Windsor up to Healdsburg by 2025, and that takes you directly down to the Larkspur Ferry. And then the other thing, which I'm a huge fan of, is Sonoma County Airport. It just makes such a huge difference if you're looking to travel up and down the West Coast. I mean, what's great is that Avalo has now made this airport its base, so is expanding flights to Washington, Oregon, Montana, and other destinations in California, such as San Diego and LA, as well as Las Vegas. I mean, believe me, I'll do anything I can to fly out of Santa Rosa Airport and avoid going to SFO. Although, obviously, if you're going to fly internationally, you don't really have any choice. So number 7, let's talk about natural beauty. I mean, having lived in Mill Valley, it'd be remiss of me not to mention Mount Tam, which I must confess is pretty hard to beat. However, Sonoma has got a lot to offer when it comes to natural beauty. I mean, there are so many regional parks spread across the county, not to mention the dramatic Sonoma coast, which doesn't compare to anything in and around San Francisco. While Marin has the iconic Muir Woods, Sonoma County has its own version with Armstrong Woods in Guerneville. It's not as big, but it's equally as impressive. And the good thing about the outdoors in Sonoma is that the temperature is just that bit warmer for being out in nature. Apart from at the coast, we don't really get those freezing cold days in summer that you often experience in San Francisco and parts of Marin. I mean, it goes without saying that the landscape has its own natural beauty with the numerous rolling hills with vineyards, making it truly one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived. As I mentioned before, it's also nice that you do feel the seasons changing, which is something I definitely used to miss living in Marin. So now let's talk about outdoor activities if that's your thing. If you do like the outdoor life, there's so much to offer. If you like hiking or biking, just north of Healdsburg is Lake Sonoma, which has miles of hiking and mountain biking trails. But the great thing about Healdsburg is that we're only 40 minutes away from the coast at Jenner, where there are a ton of hiking options along the coast. And what's more, it means that when it's 100 degrees in Healdsburg, you can actually go somewhere that's 30 degrees cooler, which is just a really nice option to have. While it is hard to argue with the cycling in the Bay Area, especially in the South Bay and also in Marin, Sonoma County has to be one of the best places to cycle. Whether you're looking to ride the back rides around Sonoma, climb over the hills to Napa Valley, or head out to West County to sample some of the more rugged gravel rides, it's definitely got a lot to offer. I mean, throughout the county around Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, Windsor, there's lots of options for mountain bike riding. Although, I mean, it is hard to compete with Mount Tam, the birthplace of my mountain biking itself. So now let's talk about the overall quality of life. I mean, one of the biggest changes to the quality of life in my mind is the fact there are just a lot fewer people. For example, if I want to drive somewhere, I know exactly how long it'll take. I don't need to factor in crazy Bay Area traffic or closure of the Golden Gate Bridge. This in its own right gives a very much more relaxed quality of life without the stress of traffic. I can't pretend that everyone has a commute like mine, which is basically 5 minutes in the car, but regardless of where you work, it should be possible to live within 20 minutes of your workplace without a problem. There's also just a slower pace of life. People just have more time for each other. There isn't the constant need to be seen to be rushing around like your life depended on it. When considering the quality of life in Sonoma County, especially from a healthcare perspective, we have access to some really great medical facilities. Just a 15-minute drive from the heart of Sonoma County in Santa Rosa, there are significant healthcare resources available. You've got the Sutter Hospital, a medical center in Santa Rosa, which provides a wide range of services, including 24/7 emergency care, specialist areas like neurology and cardiology, surgical centres, and resources for senior care. This comprehensive care is crucial for those who, like many, value reliable and accessible healthcare services as they age. Additionally, in 2019, Kaiser Permanente, expanded its presence in Santa Rosa by opening a new medical centre. This facility further enhances local healthcare offerings with a whole range of services and more than 30 medical specialities. So now let's talk about the food scene. Don't get me wrong, there's amazing food in San Francisco and the Bay Area as a whole. In fact, I've got numerous friends who do miss some of their favourite dining spots in San Francisco. So it's hard to say the food is better because for any restaurant I mentioned in Sonoma County, you would likely be able to name one in San Francisco that is just as good. However, I think the difference is that while moving to Sonoma County, you don't have to compromise on the quality of eating out, which you might assume you have to if you're moving from a metropolis like San Francisco to a little town in North Sonoma. Well, Healdsburg is maybe a bit of an outlier because there are only 4 restaurants in the world's top 50 restaurants in the world that are in the US, and 2 of them are in New York, 1 of them in San Francisco, and then 1 of them's in little old Healdsburg. If you are interested in what my favourite restaurants are, then you'll likely enjoy my video on the top 5 restaurants in Healdsburg. I'll put a link in the description below. You might be surprised at a couple of the ones that get in there. When it comes to food, the one thing that Sonoma County could do better is offer a more diverse selection of foods. For example, while I love the Indian restaurant that's recently opened in Healdsburg, and Windsor does have a great Thai restaurant called Tommy Thai, overall I wish there was more good Asian food. The other thing which I feel is really missing, certainly where I live, are good lunch options where you can get a chopped salad. But that's probably more to do with the fact that there just isn't the market for serving a large community of office workers in the same way that there is in San Francisco, which drove chains like Susharito and Mixed Salad Bar. That being said, wherever you choose to live in Sonoma County, I guarantee you won't be disappointed with the quality of fresh local food and the options available to you. So number 3 on the list, let's talk about access to water and water activities. I mean, Sonoma County's got so many different options for enjoying water-related activities that are sure to captivate anyone looking to enjoy nature's beauty, especially when compared to some of the more limited options in San Francisco. Whether you're craving coastal adventures or just hanging out by the lake, Sonoma County definitely has a lot to offer. For people who love the ocean, Sonoma's coastline provides breathtaking hikes such as my favourite at Jenner next to Goat Rock Beach. This location, along with many others up and down the coast, offers stunning trails along cliffs that overlook the Pacific Ocean, perfect for those who appreciate and want to enjoy the rugged, dramatic coastlines. If you prefer the calm of inland waters, then Sonoma County is dotted with beautiful parks such as Spring Lake Regional Park, where visitors can enjoy kayaking, paddleboarding, and some great little picnic spots. For more extensive water activities, Lake Sonoma welcomes visitors with opportunities for boating. You can even rent boats, water skiing, and exploring over 40 miles of trails around the lake. And then let's not forget the Russian River, which is a true gem of Sonoma County, flowing through towns like Guerneville and Healdsburg. I mean, it's ideal for swimming, tubing, even paddleboarding, or for a more relaxed pace, you can just drift down the river on a canoe, stopping off at sandy banks for a picnic on the way. I mean, what's better than that on a summer's day? And number 2, let's talk about the Vineyard. I mean, there's so many different options when it comes to enjoying vineyards. It's really hard to summarize the best places to suggest. While we all go to certain wineries because we enjoy the wines, some of my favorites are those where I chose to be a member because of the great events that they put on. When I first moved here, I joined lots of wineries, probably too many, and then I never really went wine tasting because when you live here, you don't tend to go wine tasting as much as you do when you visit. However, what you do is go to winery events, which is why the wineries I join are not only wineries that make great wine that I enjoy, but those which put on great events. For example, one winery that I'm a member of is Lambert Bridge, which in my view does the best events. Whether it's their pink party in the spring, or the extravagant harvest dinner in the fall, or the Christmas party. I mean, what's more, in the summer they host informal pizza and wine events on a Friday for members to enjoy, which is just a great way to spend a late Friday afternoon. Another way to enjoy the vineyards is to cycle around them. That's where Dry Creek Valley really does come into its own because it's such a great place to cycle around. I mean, it's flat, the road's really pretty, and there are lots of wineries to stop at on the way. If there's one time of year to come to wine country to enjoy the vineyards, I mean, it has to be the fall. It really is hard to beat the scenery with all the vines turning reds and oranges and yellow, and to see the bustle of activity as all the hard work begins to pick the grapes and make that year's wine. So number 1 on the list of 15 is the wine. Again, I can't single out any wine because there's just so much to choose from. However, if I was to help you choose the best wineries to visit, it would depend on what varietals you like, what you were looking for, and whether you wanted to enjoy some food as well. Sonoma County is often regarded as a poor relation to Napa County, but I think that's more down to a legacy reputation. Of course, Napa is more established and better known and commands a premium for its wines, but I challenge you to dismiss some of the great Cabernets, for example, that you can get from Alexander Valley or indeed Dry Creek Valley. Not many people know this, but quite a lot of the grapes in Napa wines actually come from Sonoma. For example, a friend of mine has a vineyard with premium Cabernet Sauvignon. While he makes his own Dry Creek Valley wine, he also sells tens of tons of it to a Napa winery to put into their Cabernet. As long as you have at least 50% Napa Cab in it, you can still call it a Napa wine. But really, a lot of it is from Sonoma. Similarly, if you are a lover of Pinot, I would recommend trying some of the specialist Pinot wineries such as Gary Farrell in the Russian River, or if you're looking for a sparkling wine, I'd suggest going somewhere like Einhorst Vineyards in Green Valley in Sebastopol, because it's not only really pretty winery, but also does great sparkling and Chardonnays. Personally, I prefer going to wineries that are not owned by the big conglomerates such as Kendall Jackson and Ian J. Gallo. I just think you get a much better wine experience when you chat to the winemaker or owner. I mean, what's more, it's nice to support more local businesses. But it's not all about the wine. It's equally important to enjoy it in a nice setting. And there's some wineries that have amazing views and tasting rooms, such as the tasting room at Robert Young Winery in Alexander Valley. A winery like this is interesting because they have acres and acres of vineyards, and they sell a lot of fruit to other wineries and then keep the best Cabernet for themselves. To be honest, it's hard to go wrong choosing a place to enjoy the wine in Sonoma County, so I'm sure you'll quickly agree it's a pretty special place. By the way, if you're moving to Sonoma County from out of the area, make sure you grab my Sonoma County relocation guide, and I'll put a link in the description below. There you'll find everything you need to know before moving here. A breakdown of the area, the things to do, the different neighborhoods, and way more, so make sure to check it out. So who should and shouldn't live in Sonoma County? Well, if you want to escape the Bay Area and opt for a slightly more relaxed lifestyle with access to great food and wine and enjoy the outdoors, then I really don't think you can go wrong moving to Sonoma County. However, if you crave the hard-charging lifestyle of a big city, not that San Francisco is like London or New York, or you need access to things like Etaflow to fly regularly across country, or you need to go to an office in Silicon Valley more than once a week, then Sonoma County maybe isn't for you. So if you made it to this point in the video, there's a good chance that you're thinking about buying your next home or investing in this area, or buying a second home, or even selling your current one. We'd love to be your real estate resource of choice, so just email me at david@brewingtonhargreaves to get started. Our team's actually the #1 team in Sonoma County, helping over 70 families in 2023 with nearly $80 million worth of real estate transactions. So we're here to help you, whether you want a second home, primary home, or vacation rental. We're here to give you access to all the updates of what's going on, what's coming on the market, and way more besides. And hey, before you go, if you like this video, you'll love my next video about everything you need to know before deciding to move to Sonoma County. There, I'll give you a breakdown, A to Z, to different areas, what it's like living there, and way more. So be sure to check it out. See you in the next video.